When I was a kid in the early 2010s, fantasy franchises were all the rage. It was around this time when franchises like Harry Potter and Twilight were at their peak in popularity. I was a fan of neither of these series. I tried reading Harry Potter once, but gave up after book 3 because I thought it was boring. Also, it's Harry Potter. But one series I did enjoy at the time was the Percy Jackson series. I was a huge fan of Greek mythology at the time, and I was able to enjoy reading all 5 books in that series, as well as some spin-off books. I also watched a film adaptation of the first book back then, and I thought it was good as well. However, recently, I rewatched the movie as an adult, and needless to say, I find the film to be kind of silly. Really silly, as a matter of fact. And I think the world needs to know why. Since there's a new Percy Jackson series coming to Disney+, as well as the 6th book, that I won't read, is coming as well, what better way to celebrate than to look back at the Lightning Thief's 2010 adaptation? I'm not going to cite the differences between the book and the film, I really don't care. The film opens up in a stormy New York. Poseidon emerges out of the waters around the city. A fisherman notices him and they just look at each other, like they just go on with their life as if this is a common occurrence. Once Poseidon reaches shore, he disguises himself as a human and goes to the Empire State Building to meet up with Zeus. But something is wrong.
What do you see?
Thunderclouds.
No lightning.
Apparently, Zeus doesn't have his bolt, and he thinks Poseidon's son, Percy, stole it from him. Poseidon then says to Zeus, "If you touch my son, you're getting a whooping." But Zeus, not caring, just nukes the door of the building and leaves through it, the door rebuilding itself once Zeus comes through. After a cut to the title, we then meet our main protagonist, Percy Jackson, in a pool, as the names of the people featured in the movie are shown. He then comes out of the water and we meet his friend Grover.
Percy Jackson is a beast!
He's pretty much Donkey from Shrek. Why do I say this? Well, you'll find out soon enough. He asks Percy why he can stay in the water so long. Percy just says he just likes being in there. Because he does. One thing you'll notice about this movie is that it is clearly a product of its time. For example, this line right here.
Right? It's like high school without the musical.
He is Donkey from Shrek. Cut to a scene in class where the substitute teacher asks the class about a quote from Othello. A lot of people raise their hands, but for some reason, the teacher asks Percy, like he wasn't even raising his hand. He tries to read it, but he can't. He just can't. Why'd you pick him, teacher? Percy then goes home to his mom explaining that his dyslexia is getting worse. Yeah, no, that last scene wasn't him being illiterate, it was just his dyslexia. I just thought I'd add that. We then meet Percy's stepfather.
Hi, Gabe. Where's my beer? It's in the fridge. So what, it's supposed to magically float from the icebox and into my hand?
Yeah, that's his entire personality. Beer and misogyny. Did I ever tell you that this film is rated PG? Percy, disgusted, tells his mom that Gabe is awful, but Mom doesn't want to give him up because...
He's been good to us, Percy, in ways you don't understand.
You're right.
We get a cliche balcony scene, and after that, we meet Percy and Grover at the art museum where they have a field trip, when, all of a sudden...
Be prepared. Everything is about to change, Percy. Everything is about to change.
Yes, Percy. Listen to your daddy. Inside the museum, the guide, played by Pierce Brosnan, talks about various Greek mythology things. Here, he asks Percy a question, and here Percy finds out that he can actually read ancient Greek quite well, and this impresses Pierce Brosnan. However, the substitute teacher notices this, and she dismisses Percy to a prohibited location in the museum where this happens.
Where is it?
Whoa, hey.
How did you get up there?
The monster teacher then goes after Percy, accusing him of stealing a lightning bolt.
You stole the lightning bolt!
I don't know what you're talking about!
Give it to me!
Pierce Brosnan and Donkey from Shrek come to save him, where Pierce tells the scary white woman to
Release him or I swear I'll tear you to pieces!
The monster drops Percy, and Percy is having a crisis.
I'm going crazy.
Turns out the monster was a fury. After Pierce Brosnan asks Percy what she wanted, he tells him that she wanted a lightning bolt. Pierce, realizing that Percy is in danger, decides to send him to some sort of a camp, with Grover coming with him. In order for Percy to protect himself, Pierce gives him a pen.
This is a pen. This is a pen.
Grover and Percy then make it all the way back home to meet Gabe and company playing poker. Percy tells his mom that they have to leave, and Gabe tells him to go away. Percy then calls him a
Bald-headed freak.
and Grover beats the shit out of Gabe. Fast forward to when they are on the road, and Percy's mom reveals information about his father. His real father, not Gabe. Basically, in this scene, his mom just explains that his father actually loved him, and that he didn't leave because he didn't love him, and that he actually abandoned him because he was forced to, and during their discussion, a new monster, a minotaur this time, appears and throws a cow at the car, causing the car to go upside down.
Percy.
Mom, you alright? Grover, you alright? Is it me
He is
or is it
Donkey
raining
from
cows?
Shrek. While the monster is approaching, Grover reveals the truth about himself.
Why are you taking your pants off? What are you doing? My job. Whoa, whoa! You're half donkey?
Yeah, sort of like that. Once Grover breaks the windows, the three bolt towards the camp, all while the Minotaur destroys their car in the process. They do eventually make it to the camp, however, turns out the mom can't pass through the gates because she is not special like the other two. The Minotaur then grabs the mom, Percy tells her to let go, while his mom tells him to just go. Percy, wanting to save his mom, decides to fight the Minotaur using the pen he got from Brosnan. Turns out, it turns into a sword. Wow. The Minotaur then banishes Percy's mom to the Shadow Realm, and Percy rushes to fight it, while Grover makes a face from that one meme. Like, look at this. It's nearly identical to the meme face. The two then fight for a while until Percy kills the other with one of its horns. The Minotaur dies, and Percy passes out afterwards, waking up in some sort of a hospital where he meets Grover. Percy says it's just a dream, but guess what? It's not a dream, and Grover is actually Donkey from Shrek.
Yeah. The politically correct term is Seder.
Right. I knew that. Grover then gives Percy a tour of the camp, all while being Donkey from Shrek. He then also reveals to Percy that Percy is actually a demigod, and his dyslexia and ADHD are a result of him being born out of the Greek god despair. Later we meet another one of the main characters, this girl right here.
What's her name? She would squash you like a bug. Her name.
This is Annabeth. She is the love interest. Like, they literally have never met and they are already looking at each other like, stop! Grover then shows Percy a bunch of centaurs when, oh, look who it is! It's Pierce Brosnan. It's the guy from the museum.
In my world, I'm known as Chiron.
You're not in a wheelchair. You have...
The real horse's ass.
Chiron then shows Percy his new home, all while Grover's loins start cooking. It is here where Percy realizes...
My father's Poseidon.
God of the seas.
Cut to this scene at the pier, and Chiron tells Percy pretty much everything about his life, including the whole lightning bolt incident. Chiron decides to send Percy to Olympus to prove his innocence, and when Percy says yes, Chiron says, not yet, you little shit, you gotta train first. At training, Percy has to join a team. He ends up joining the blue team, putting him at odds with Annabeth, the girl from Earth. Okay, they're doing it again. One of his teammates is Luke, who will be important to the story later. Chiron then explains that they are going to play capture. Oh, okay, can you stop that? The two teams then fight each other, and Luke and Percy go towards the flag. The two then meet a bunch of red players, and they beat them up like they're nothing. But suddenly, Luke has his hands tied, so he sends off Percy to go get the flag.
How did I just do that?
Percy stops at a stream to drink, where he spots the red player's flag. Just as he's about to capture, Annabeth appears out of nowhere, denying him the capture. The two then fight, however, Annabeth is just too strong and makes Percy take the L. Everyone else comes to see the battle. Like, they don't do anything, they just watch. Even Chiron and Grover come along.
Okay, Kyra, should we get in there and stop him? She's killing him, man.
You gotta be kidding. This is the best part.
Well, thanks, assholes. Percy's probably gonna die and you're just gonna stand there. However, while Percy is wreaking ass, Poseidon tells him to
Go to the water.
He crawls over to the stream and puts his hand in the water. The water heals him, and Percy is able to get back up. The Reds see this and begin to charge at him. Since Percy is the son of Poseidon, the water turns him into John Wick, and he mows down pretty much everybody and subdues Annabeth. After this, he just captures the flag. Like, they just let him capture. Like, they just like him all of a sudden. Later at night, they have a festival, and everybody wants Percy now, especially Hades. Hades calls out Percy to give him the bolt, all while committing several war crimes.
Be a good boy. Hand it to me, and I will exchange it for your mother.
My mother's gone!
No, your mother is still alive. She is here with me in the underworld.
After realizing that his mother is still alive, Percy decides that he's going to the underworld.
Going somewhere? Yeah, I'm going for a walk. For a walk? I'm coming with you. No, I'm going alone. No,
He
I'm
is
coming with
Donkey
you. No.
from Shrek. However, Grover and Annabeth say no, and when Percy doesn't listen, they decide to go along with him, because going outside alone is dangerous. But first, they stop by Luke's place where Luke can be seen gaming, like there he is, going all out there. They ask Luke if he can help them, and Luke gives them several items: flying shoes, a shield, and a map showing 3 different pearls. The pearls are important because they are the only way they're able to get out the underworld. All while Luke says that the gods are cringe, and that they only want to fight each other, and that they don't care about their children, yada yada yada. Cut to them heading to the first stop, all while copyright music plays. It's a garden shop in New Jersey, and it's an actual shithole. Here they find several drachma coins in a fountain. Then the 3 decide to split up and search for the pearl. Meanwhile, on Annabeth's end, Grover then meets a statue that looks kind of familiar.
Check this out. He's just like my Uncle Ferdinand. That's crazy. Got them all in the same place. Yeah. It's not my Uncle Ferdinand, because my Uncle Ferdinand was killed by Medusa.
Yeah. Uh-oh. As Grover tries to reach the others, Annabeth and the woman from earlier meet up with Medusa. Now, this specific depiction of Medusa, she's an actual creep. Not like scary creepy, more like Fosh creepy. Like look at this.
You have such beautiful hair.
I don't like where this is going.
I once had hair like that.
She then takes off her glasses and turban and forces them to open their eyes. The woman does this and fucking dies. Percy and Grover then come up to Medusa, however if they look at them, they fucking die. So Percy uses his iPod, remember those, to look at Medusa, all while distracting her in the process. A chase then ensues while Grover frees Annabeth from the woman's grasp. Medusa eventually catches up to Percy and says this:
I used to date your daddy.
The statue then stuns Percy after— Whoa, hey, no, stop it! Get off of him! He's a minor! Get away from him! Get away from him! After that, it gives Percy a chance to finally slay Medusa. Yep, that's a stock sound effect. They used a stock sound effect in this part. Turns out, Medusa was wearing one of the pearls the whole time, so they take that along with Medusa's head, just in case if they need it. They then take off on the way to the next stop, the Parthenon, the one in Nashville.
Nashville? Oh, great. Home of my least favorite music.
He is Donkey from... However, since it's late and satyrs are bad at driving at night, Grover swerves the truck off the road and they all fucking die. Just kidding, they decide to stay for the night at a motel. Here, Percy goes underwater. Again. This time with visions of his mother.
Be a good boy.
He comes out of the pool and notices Annabeth has a bit of a boo-boo. But thankfully, Percy is the son of Poseidon and is able to heal Annabeth's wounds. The next segment just consists of them talking about why their parents hate each other, why gods can't meet their kids. I really don't give a shit. They then make it back inside, where, on TV, Percy is declared a missing child. In an interview, Gabe says that Percy is a bad boy, who has done bad things to him. Also, Grover just eats a can. Yeah, he just eats a can. Grover then heads to the bathroom where the Medusa head is and complains that the head is too creepy when... Before the police catch up to their war crimes, they head off to the Nashville Parthenon. Inside, they find a statue of Athena, Annabeth's mom. Oh yeah, I forgot. Annabeth is the daughter of Athena. She's a demigod too. On Athena's crown is the second pearl. However, they can't get it yet because it's too high up and it's crowded. So they wait until night to get it. However, when that time comes, there are still some janitors cleaning up after the place. Luckily, Annabeth has a plan.
I got this. Got one more. Whoa, hey, yo, thanks. You're gonna kill janitors. Chill.
He is Donkey from... Annabeth then shoots darts at each of the janitors, putting them out. Percy then uses the shoes Luke gave them to fly up to the pearl, but he's terrible, and misses the first shot. He eventually does climb up and reach the pearl, but right after that, the janitors wake up. Seems like Annabeth used Human Revolution's tranquilizer darts and not 2000's. Turns out, they were expecting Percy to come all this time, and they later transform into their true form, the...
Guys, watch out! The middle one spews fire!
While on fire, Percy drops the pearl in and nearly falls down a drain. After the three fend off the Hydra for a little bit, Percy then takes to the air in the shoes Luke gave him and cuts off each of the Hydra's heads. Oh, you fucking idiot. You fucking idiot! Annabeth and Grover then try to distract the revived Hydra while Percy goes after the pearl, but the Hydra's flames are just too toasty for him. He then notices the water fountains and controls the water inside. Wait, he's a waterbender now? I know he's the son of Poseidon, but there was nothing before indicating he could do something like that. Okay, maybe there was a little bit. This allows Percy to get the pearl and run for the door, but oh no! The door is stuck! And just as they are about to be fried, Grover pulls out Medusa's head and the Hydra fucking dies. Cut to a diner where it's revealed that all throughout Eurasia, countries are getting screwed by big storms. They look at the map again and they find that the next stop is all the way in Las Vegas. So they go there. While there, they arrive at the Lotus Casino.
Look, guys, remember, always put the 8s.
He is Donkey from... Okay, are you beginning to understand why I keep saying that? While in the casino, the three are offered lotus flowers, and when they eat the flowers, this happens. Yeah, I can't show any audio again because at this point more DMCA music plays, but in case you're wondering what's happening, the flower cookies make them want to stay forever. So rather than continuing on with their quest, they just party and dance, even after Grover loses his pants until Poseidon intervenes, telling Percy to stop eating the lotus flower. Percy then stops his mindless consumption and begins exploring the casino, where he meets this guy, who's apparently been at the casino since 1971. Wait, how is that possible? Unless... Percy then soon realizes that this place is a trap and begins to wake up the others. And once they wake up, the guards try to lull them back. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, by the time Grover and Annabeth wake up, the guards already knew what was up. Another fight scene ensues with Percy retrieving the pearl, and they escape through a car out of the building, dead center style. Turns out, that was the lair of the Lotus Eaters, and they made him stay for 5 days. Oh no, it's already the final day! Will they ever make it before midnight? Thankfully, Hades is just a short drive to Hollywood, especially if you're a satyr and you drive like you're from Texas. They make it to the Hollywood sign, where, after Percy recites some graffiti, the underworld begins to open up, and once they enter, it closes right behind them. They then meet Charon on his boat.
Who are you?
Grover offers him some US dollars, but that doesn't work. So Percy gives him the drachma they got back in New Jersey, and they are able to come aboard. They then travel through the underworld by way of Scrap Heap of Human Misery, not the River of Styx, unlike in normal mythology, and I actually kinda like this idea better. I think this kind of thing should be reintroduced in the future, probably by some other work. They then reach the end of their journey, and meet some hellhounds which are put to heel by Persephone. Turns out, she really likes Grover, like, really. Oh, okay, I'll stop. They then meet Hades, who has a long discussion with Percy about why he's so miserable, but Percy doesn't care. He wants his mommy, and Hades wants the Bolty, but Percy, he doesn't have the Bolty.
Why did you come here then?
Well, I was hoping that when you saw that I wasn't the thief, you'd let my mother go.
Do you think I'm an idiot?
After this, he breaks open what I don't even know what that is, and out comes Percy's mother. Percy drops the shield and oh look what it is. Look what he had the bolt the whole time.
Liar.
But since it was Luke's shield, that means Luke actually stole it. He was the lightning thief. But Hades wants none of it, so he tries to send all four of them to the worst place imaginable. Florida, I mean, the souls. Because he got what he wanted. So after making love with Persephone, she yoinks the bolt away, and stuns Hades like it's nothing. Yeah, this guy really thought he can fight a war against the gods of Olympus. Persephone gives him back the bolt, and the four begin to head back to Olympus, but...
Only 3.
They argue over who should stay until Grover finally elects to stay behind, leaving him alone with Persephone. Good for her, at least. He is donkey for—
Alright already!
Using the pearls, the remaining 3 escape the underworld and make it to Mount Wait a minute.
No, this isn't the right place. This isn't Olympus. This is the Empire State Building.
Yeah, remember when Zeus nuked that one door from the beginning? Yeah, it turns out that door leads to Olympus, and just as they are about to head over there—
Percy Jackson! You weren't supposed to make it out alive.
So why did Luke steal the bolt? Well, like I said earlier, he thinks the gods are weak. And it is the gamers, I mean demigods, who should rise up and form a new order. And then Percy does the, you are no good guy thing, while the other 2 persuade him to come along. But Percy? He's pissed. So they all try to fight Luke, but Luke uses his gamer reflexes to check them, all while taking the bolt back for himself. Luke uses the bolt to destroy parts of the building and then goes away. Percy then uses the shoes he got from Luke and begins to go after him. Luke then makes it to the top of the spire, and just when he's about to commit a war crime— and so we get the final showdown, where the 2 fight each other. Yeah, they just fight, and eventually, Percy gets the bolt back from Luke, and just as he's about to go back to Olympus, Luke uses one of his gamer skills to bring down Percy, and now, oh no, he's screwed now.
Maybe they were wrong. Maybe you're no son of Poseidon.
Percy then uses the water from nearby water towers and harnesses their power, almost drowning Luke. We then get the box art for the DVD, and Luke is defeated.
Yeah. I think I am the son of Poseidon.
Percy makes it back to the Empire State Building, where the 3 rush inside the building. The mom messes with a few controls, and she reveals an elevator which can take them all to Olympus. The real one this time. So they go up and 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 up. They make it to Olympus. But remember, Mom can't come along, so Percy and Annabeth make it there themselves. By this point, it's almost midnight, and the gods are arguing until
time has run out.
Wait! 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 My name is Percy Jackson, and I think you might be looking for this.
Percy then gives Zeus back the bolt, and everything has been avoided. Thank the gods. Percy then explains that Luke actually stole the bolt this whole time, and I kinda like Hermes' reaction to this, like his son almost ended the world. I just thought it's kind of funny, like, my son? No way! Also, Annabeth meets her mom, Percy asks Zeus to bring Grover back from the underworld, he says yes, and the assembly is finished. But Poseidon isn't done yet, so he has a conversation with his son. It's a lot of the same what we know about the gods, but he does reveal something new.
Why didn't you ever come back?
When I was with you and your mother, I became less concerned with my responsibilities. I was becoming human.
Yeah, no joke. The reason why he couldn't stay was because that mortal pussy was turning him mortal, so he had to back away. They then talk a little more, just the "I will always be with you, son" type of stuff. You know the trope already. The rest of the film is mostly just resolution. Percy ends up staying at Camp Half-Blood, Mom dumps Gabe right before Gabe fucking dies. Grover gets his horns, they meet Chiron, and he explains that Percy is his new favorite, as if he wasn't already, and Percy ends up meeting Annabeth again, and they all have a grand old time. Let's talk about some of the good things in this film. I know I made it look like this film is goofy and bad, I still think it is, but there are some parts that I genuinely liked. For example, the choreography was pretty good. Even where it was clearly CGI, it still looks rather solid, and speaking of CGI, you can not tell me that this scene with Hades isn't him just rendered. However, this film does have many weaknesses. Sure, the writing and the story are the weakest parts of the film, but sometimes the editing can make the film seem sillier than it actually is. For example, when Percy and Annabeth look at each other, okay. The actors range from being good, mostly because they're well known, to outright mediocre. In the end, what I am trying to say is that this film is entertainment for those who lack object permanence. It's a kid's movie. When I watched the film back then, I genuinely liked it. However, as an adult, I'd find the film to be absolutely goofy and entertainingly bad, which is exactly what this movie is. A textbook example of a good, bad film, and a time capsule into what the early 2010s was like, because at that time, you can get away with the cheesy teen romance and plots involving special main characters, as similar franchises of the era like Harry Potter and Twilight did. And that's pretty much everything I wanted to talk about. I was gonna talk about the deleted scenes, but none of them were really all that interesting, except this one that was only in the trailer. I mean, it's not even on the DVD. Like, what is even going on over here? As for the second film, I haven't seen that, so a video for that will have to come much later. Okay, that's it. Bye.
A real horse's ass.